Is it possible for an ordinary citizen to be given a sheriff's badge and a gun just by being a political contributor? And should the sheriff's department employees and their undersheriffs and deputies give political contributions to their boss's political campaign? Here are two sheriffs, Mike Carona from Orange County and Lee Baca from Los Angeles County, who have their own separate policies on giving out badges and guns and on political contributions from their deputies and employees. We'll start with Sheriff Carona, who was attacked by the LA Times for his reserve deputy policy.
There is not a problem with the way we've been doing business. In fact, unlike what the LA Times has written, and that's the part I love about full disclosure, we get to make full disclosure. There was not an issue about backgrounding individuals or giving badges to individuals that had not been through training or had not been through background. I had a disagreement with the Post Commission with respect to 86 people on the timing as to when those events occurred. And as a result of some negotiations, we've resolved that problem with the Post Commission. But I can tell you right now that the Orange County Sheriff's Department, we believe, is a model for the way reserves should be set up. Last year, the reserve deputies and our civilian counterparts, which we call professional services reserves, they're civilian volunteers that work for the department, gave over 122,000 hours of service to our community. Unlike a lot of other law enforcement agencies throughout California, we do not pay our reserves at the Orange County Sheriff's Department. These are all volunteers, which means they do this for free. They do the training for free, and the hours that they're required to put in, they give to the community for free.
But according to the Los Angeles Times, he does receive campaign contributions from some of his reserve officers. Doesn't this create an appearance of buying a badge, we asked him?
I don't think so. One of the things that we kind of pride ourselves in is that in my campaign, I don't take money from employees of this organization. Never have and won't now.
Full disclosure interviewed LA County Sheriff Baca earlier and asked him the same question. By contrast, here's what he had to say.
Even my own staff, for example, my command staff, you'll find dozens of them without any solicitation donating to my particular campaign. And I'm amazed that they would do it, because that speaks volumes to their support for me, but is never a requirement, and that's the key.
Sheriff Carona explained why he will accept campaign contributions from his reserve deputies who are merely members of the community.
But reserves are unpaid volunteers from the community. And so a lot of the people who have contributed to my campaign over the years are members of various corporations or employees or blue-collar workers that just liked what I was doing as sheriff or wanted me to continue as sheriff, and made contributions to the campaign fund.
Sheriff Baca had this to say about the campaign donations from reserve deputies.
Well, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has 800 reserve deputy sheriffs. There's no doubt in my mind that some of them have contributed to my campaign for re-election, but that is not a condition for them to be a reserve deputy sheriff. And I think that whenever an individual sheriff starts accepting donations and then under the guise of those donations says we want you to be a reserve deputy as well, then you can run into those kinds of criticism. All reserve deputy sheriffs must go through our training and be post-certified. They can't become reserve deputy sheriffs and not meet the standards of the state of California. We have strict policies about that. The donation is something they do because they like the person who's holding the office and has nothing to do with being a reserve deputy sheriff.
We asked Sheriff Carona about his requirements for reserve officers and, in light of the controversy, how he felt about his reserve deputy policy.
The answer to the question is, well, I'm very proud of the reserve deputy program that we have here in Orange County. We have I think, a model for where the nation wants to be for volunteers in law enforcement. We have level 1, level 2, level 3 reserves. Those are sworn reserves. They have to go through an academy. The levels are determined by the number of hours and the training that they've received. And they all have to go through backgrounds, and they all have to go through psychological testing before they become reserve deputy sheriffs.
And what about the criticism alleging that you hire friends as reserve deputies? We ask him to explain.
I always find it comical that a lot of the detractors say, well, Sheriff Carona goes out and hires, his friends, to come in and do this. I want to stress 2 points. The first one is, I doubt I could go out and get my enemies to come and give their time for free to this department. By definition, they don't like me and they probably don't like the department. So the people that I'm going to go to are those individuals who have already shown an interest in me and or the Sheriff's Department. And the second point I want to stress is I didn't hire any of these individuals. They're not being paid. These individuals have to go through specific training. And then if they've been through that training, they have to volunteer their hours into the community. Last year, 122,000 hours. I think that's an incredible gift. And so it isn't a, you do this for me and I'm going to give you a paycheck. These are people who, the only thing that they are doing for this community is giving their time. And contributing to my campaign, I'm very thankful for.
The Los Angeles Times has taken Orange County Sheriff Mike Carona to task, claiming that he was giving badges and guns to political donors and personal friends. But the Times has not made the same criticism of Sheriff Leroy Baca. We want to know what you think about these issues of badges and guns and political contributions to elected county sheriffs. Please participate in our survey. With whom do you agree on accepting contributions to the sheriff's campaign from paid employees? Sheriff Baca says yes, or Sheriff Carona says no. Both sheriffs accept campaign contributions from their volunteer staff, such as reserve deputies. Do you agree? Yes, or do you disagree? No. Why do you think the LA Times chose to attack the Orange County Sheriff Mike Carona, but not the LA County Sheriff Lee Baca, who has the same policy? Please use our comment form to let us know what you think. If you would like to view the entire full-length interviews with the sheriffs, please let us know so we can tell you how to find them.